The man finished brushing his teeth, spitting the last of the minty foam into the sink. He looked up at his reflection in the bathroom mirror, noticing the dark circles under his eyes. Behind him, a gaunt, pale face with hollow eyes stared back, its lips stretched into a wide, unnatural grin. He spun around, heart hammering against his ribs, but the bathroom was empty. Just the drip, drip, drip of the faucet he forgot to tighten. Shaking his head, he dismissed it as exhaustion, a trick of the light in the dim pre-dawn bathroom. He splashed cold water on his face, the shock of it clearing his head slightly. He looked up again, slowly, apprehensively. His own tired reflection stared back. Alone, a sigh of relief escaped his lips. He was just seeing things. It had been a long week, full of sleepless nights and stressful deadlines. His mind was playing tricks on him, conjuring up monsters from the shadows of fatigue. He dried his face with a towel, the rough fabric a comforting, tangible sensation against his skin. He decided to get dressed and head to the kitchen for a strong cup of coffee, something to chase away the lingering phantoms of his imagination. He flicked off the bathroom light, plunging the small room into darkness, and closed the door behind him with a soft click. The hallway was quiet, the rest of the house still asleep. The familiar silence was reassuring, a stark contrast to the sudden terror he had felt just moments before. He walked towards the kitchen, the floorboards creaking softly under his weight, the mundane sounds of his home grounding him back in reality. He brewed the coffee, the rich aroma filling the kitchen and soothing his frayed nerves. As he waited, he leaned against the counter, staring out the window at the slowly brightening sky. The world outside was calm, peaceful. There were no monsters, no grinning specters, just the quiet beginning of another ordinary day. He poured the steaming black liquid into his favorite mug, the warmth seeping into his cold hands. He took a sip, the bitter taste, a welcome jolt to his system. Feeling more like himself, he decided to get ready for work. He needed to focus on the tangible, the real. He finished his coffee, rinsed the mug, and placed it in the sink. He headed back towards the bedroom, passing the closed bathroom door. He paused for a fraction of a second. A flicker of unease returning, but he pushed it down. It was just a mirror. It was just a trick of his tired mind. There was nothing to be afraid of. He opened his closet, the familiar scent of cedar and clean laundry greeting him. He picked out a shirt and a pair of trousers, laying them on the bed. He felt the normalcy of the routine settling over him like a warm blanket. He was in control. Before leaving for work, he had to use the bathroom one last time. He hesitated at the door, his hand hovering over the knob. Taking a deep breath, he turned it and pushed the door open, flipping the light switch. The room was exactly as he had left it, empty. He let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. He quickly used the toilet, washed his hands, and deliberately avoided looking at the mirror above the sink. He didn't need to tempt fate or his overactive imagination. He reached for the towel hanging on the rack beside the mirror. As his fingers brushed against the soft cotton, his eyes were drawn, against his will, to the reflective surface. It was his own reflection, just as it should be. But something was wrong, terribly wrong. His reflection wasn't looking at him. It was looking slightly past him, at the wall behind him, its eyes wide with sheer unadulterated terror. A silent scream was etched onto its face, a look of pure horror he had never seen before. He froze, his blood turning to ice. He didn't dare turn around to see what his own reflection was staring at. He couldn't move, couldn't breathe. The reflection's terrified eyes were locked on something just over his shoulder. Then, his reflection's eyes snapped forward, meeting his own. A slow, wide smile spread across its face. The same unnatural grin he had seen earlier when the man's wife found him only. The running water echoed in the empty room.